Someone said something to you this week. I don't have the money, I don't have the time, or the one that stings the most is let me think about it and I'll get back to you. And you actually walked away feeling rejected. But if I told you that none of those were actual rejections, what if every single one was actually a question in disguise? So tonight we learn how to hear what they were really saying. So stay with me. Welcome to week 5 of Sriman Japadas, closing with conviction. Namaste, salam alaikum, and welcome all of you. Please drop your name, what city you're in, what city you're listening from, what country, comments below, and tell me what is the objection that has stopped you most. Okay? Type right now. Okay, right here, right? 3 to 4 objections aloud, and and it just let me know what every single of those we're gonna actually be handling them tonight. I will teach you how to handle each of those objections. So tonight I want to give you a new way to see objections, okay? Because most people, when they hear an objection, okay, they see a wall, okay, an immovable door that is just closed. But in fact, an objection is not a wall, okay? An objection is a window that you can see through and finally actually see what the person in front of you is truly telling you, what they need to hear from you. They're not saying no to you. They're not rejecting you. They are saying, I'm not sure yet. Please help me understand. Give me a reason to believe. Okay, that is what they're saying. This is not a rejection. That is an invitation. So I want you to type window. Okay, a window. An objection is not a wall, it's a window. Through it, you can finally see what they truly need. Okay. So, I would want to give you a tool tonight. I call it the ACE technique. Okay, it's ACE stands for ACE. Okay, this one, every objection. Use this one, every objection, and it will never fail you. A means acknowledge, okay? Never fight the objection. The moment you push back, they will dig in deeper and throw you as many questions as they could. Instead, acknowledge it, okay? You pause, you say, I completely understand. This is a very real concern. Just slow down and you say, because when a person feels hurt, their guard comes down, and when the guard is down, the door is open. C is clarify. Ask the question, not to challenge them, but to actually understand them. Okay? Can I ask, like when you said you don't have time, what does that typically, what's your typical day look like? How busy are you? So let them talk, because inside their answer is where the real objections are. Okay? And the letter E is elevate. Now you responded, but not with facts, but with a story. Okay? I hear you, brother, but someone on my team said exactly the same thing to me. They were working 2 jobs, juggling, they have no time, no energy. Today, they have actually replaced both incomes, right? So you're not arguing with them. You are not defending. You are elevating them into a better possibility. You want them to see something of a possibility. So type ACE. Acknowledge, clarify with questions, elevate them. Okay? This is what you want to do. And I'll be reading a little bit of your comments, right now. Okay? Because I've written 7 objections that you will hear over and over again in this industry. And we will learn how to handle exactly one by one. First, I don't have money. Okay? What they're actually saying is that, is this worth the sacrifice? And your response should simply be, I completely understand. I ask, what is costing you right now to stay where you are? Okay? The cost of not starting a business is more than the cost of not starting. Fourth one, they always say, is I don't have time. Okay? What they're actually asking is, will I have no time? Would I give up something I love to do? Because how many hours in a week would change my life right now if I actually do the business? This is what you would want to ask them. Because most people can actually find 7 to 8 hours a week. The question is, are they even willing to invest that right now so that they could have more time later on? The third is, okay, is this business a pyramid? Okay, I always hear this. I used to get upset, but don't get defensive. Take a breath, just smile, because this is a great question. You tell them, this is a great question. Let me show you the difference. A pyramid makes money by recruiting. We make money by moving products. One is illegal, one is what we do. So educate them. Do not argue. Calm confidence always win the game. So let me think about it. Another objection, and I'll tell you later. Okay, this one is sort of like a killer for me before. But so what are they saying when they say that is, I'm not convinced yet. But they're not closed. They're open to be convinced by you. Okay, so you simply say, hey, of course, take your time. Maybe I can help you, but you have to tell me specific. You want to get some specific concern, not vague concern, because vague concern disappears really fast. Okay, so you don't want them to think alone. Okay, and you allow them to, tell you the actual reason why they're thinking, what their concerns are. Okay, the fifth one is that I'm not a salesperson. Okay, and so you just pause and basically what you tell them is, hey, I'm not also a salesperson. Not that I am. I hate selling. In fact, the best people in this industry are not salespeople. They are storytellers. They share what works for them, and people want to hear. They want to have the experience you have. You're not selling. Again, you are sharing. Okay, there's a difference between the two. Okay, sixth one is, my spouse won't agree with this. So never fight against the spouse. I say I completely respect that. Would you open to letting your spouse hear this directly from me? Because sometimes it helps to have their questions answered from the very source. So I want to invite your spouse. Do not work around the team. Okay. Get them together, because a couple is a very powerful team. Okay, so the last one is this. Okay, I hate this the most before. I've tried this business before, but it never worked for me. That just kills me. Every time I hear this, I just don't want to answer. So I ended up started to defend. I start to make comparisons. And most of the time, always all the time, I lose the people. Why? Because I could not really answer them. I was just arguing. Okay, so I want to please comment below what's from 1 to 7. What are the objections that you dread the most? Okay, what are the questions you dread the most? Because today I want to teach you something that nobody talks about. Is that the most powerful response to an objection is sometimes just saying nothing. Complete silence. Yeah. You say your response, you answer their questions, and then you just stop. You stop talking. Okay? Because most people are so afraid of silence that they feel that they have to, say more. They'll end up saying more words. They end up explaining more to you, trying to convince you. And in fact, every word they add just weakens their position. Ask them, then you just be quiet. Let them answer. Let that silence work. So I want you to type silence, okay? Because the bravest thing a networker can do is ask the right question and then say nothing. Okay? That is so simple, but it's the most important hook you could leave. So I want you to, let me tell you about an objection I used to, hate when I was, in my early networking days. When somebody tells me that I tried this before, it did not work for me. I just don't know what to say. So I start defending, I would explain, I would try to make comparison, and I would just, I would just lose them every time. Until the day I just stopped defending and I started just listening. So I asked them, tell me what happened. I want to know. I sincerely want to know. And you know what? They tell me. And in their story, I found that the real objection was not about the industry. It was never about the product, not about the company even. Nobody gave them the support. There was no leadership. No one actually cared with them. They were signed up and they were just left on their own, right? So you tell them, this will not happen with me, because the day you join me is not because I convinced you, right? It's because I heard you. And so you do the same thing, because people would not join you because you convinced them. It's because you heard them, right? And they want this. So please respond yes or no if this landed on you, okay? Because this week, right, take the objection you struggle with the most, the one you typed earlier, write it on a piece of paper, okay? Then write ACE beside it, meaning acknowledge, you clarify the question, you elevate with a story, practice it out loud, alone in front of a mirror as many times as you can every day, until it does not feel like a response and it starts feeling like an actual conversation. Okay. So I want to leave you something tonight. Is that an objection? And I want you to write this down. It's not a wall. It is a window. Through that window, you can finally see what they truly need. Because the person who masters objections, right, is the master of closing. Not because they argue better, not because they know more, okay, but because they simply know how to listen better. They hear what is not said, they feel what is not shown, and they respond not with pressure, but with understanding. That is not a technique. It is actually a gift to the person you're signing up, right? And it is not one you can choose to give. It is one you could choose to give in every conversation you make. So what is your call to action this week? I mean, just right now, before we even finish this talk, I want you to share this video live to someone who is struggling with objection right now, not tomorrow, tonight, because somewhere in your team, someone have walked away this week feeling rejected, feeling so down, thinking that they were rejected. And what they felt actually was a complete rejection. But they don't understand, they don't know that it was an invitation. So they all need to do is accept the invitation, so send them this week. Because next week, we're entering our 6th week, next Sunday, same time, okay? And this is the one you've been waiting for, which is the art of closing. So what are the art of closing? I'll give you some points. There are 5 closing points: natural, dignified, confident, the assumptive close, the choice close, the story close, the urgency close, and the most bravest close of all, complete silence, the silence close, okay? So I would want to see you next week, okay, on our 6th week, same time, okay. And I hope that you've learned something tonight, okay. I hope that you could turn every no into a door, and I will see you next Sunday. Thank you so much. Namaste. Salam alaikum.